Welcome, friends, to our fourth e-service. I hope everyone had a blessed Easter weekend and that wherever you may be, you're still staying safe during these difficult times. Our text for this morning is found in 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 to 9, which reads as follows. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In His great mercy, He has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade, kept in heaven for you, who through faith are shielded by God's power until the coming of the salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, but that your faith may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you have not seen Him, you love Him, and even though you do not see Him now, you believe in Him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the goal of your faith, the salvation of your souls. During Easter, one of the fundamental truths which we celebrate is a hope that we have found because we know that Jesus Christ has risen. A hope that we have found because we know He has conquered the grave and He has defeated death. And what we often do in church, what we seem to be very good at, is speaking about what that hope is. The way it looks, the forms and the shapes that it takes, the places and the spaces to which it leads and points us. But what we much less frequently speak about is what that hope is not. Now, in his book Confessing the Faith, Douglas John Hall outlines three things, three forms, three shapes which he believes Christian hope should not take. And the first of these is the idea of Christian hope as a program that if followed, if its 1, 2, 3 steps are adhered to, will quickly, easily, and simply sort out and fix our current situation. And I would like to posit that one of the reasons why this idea of Christian hope as a program so often finds fertile ground within churches is because people are so desperate for it. The truth is that hope sells. Hope is one of the best products you can offer someone. Hope is that one eternal that almost all people desire. And even more so, if you can package that hope in an easily digestible, simple to understand program, people will cling to that. The trials and tribulations that we oftentimes face in our lives, the struggles, the difficulties, the mountains that may lay before us, these often lead us to spaces where we yearn, we hunger for a quick answer, an easy solution, a hope that is distilled into a program which, if we just merely follow it, oftentimes even follow it without thinking, our current situation, our lot in life, may not be the end all. It's this idea of a light at the tunnel's end. This idea that just keep going on. Whatever you may be facing currently, just keep your eyes focused on what lies at the end, the light that's there. Then the darkness will become a bit more endurable. And a Christian hope is not this. It's not this program. It's not this idea of a light at the end of the tunnel. But I would like to say it's rather the idea of a light amidst the tunnel. A light that is present within the darkness. A light that is not removed from the darkness. A light that illuminates the current situation. Not a light that illuminates a different reality. So that's the first idea of what Christian hope is not. Christian hope is not a program. A 1, 2, 3 quick and easy to follow steps that will lead us to a different place and a different space from that where we currently are at. The second idea of what Christian hope is not, that Douglas John Hall puts forward, is this idea that we so often find of Christian hope as a utopia. Now, a utopia is a place, as we also saw in the brief reading that Marius gave through earlier this week. A utopia is this idea of a place where everything is perfect, everything is sorted out, everything is fixed. There are no struggles, there's no pain, there's no hurt, there are no tears, because everything is clean, everything is good, everything is perfect. What's problematic for me with this idea of a utopia, that's what we're striving towards, that's what we desire, a different world where everything is so much more better than the world we're currently at, is the cheapness thereof. It's so easy to put forth, to sell an idea of a perfect place. If we're all honest with ourselves and with each other, it's something all of us yearn for. Most of us would very gladly discard our current life and our current reality if we are offered the opportunity to enter into a perfect world. A world where there is no pain, a world where there is no hurt, a world where everything is fixed. But this hope, this idea of a utopian hope, that our hope points us towards this perfect world, is a hope that disregards the truth of the human existence, the truth of the human experience. This paradoxical and ironic reality that it's often in our deepest and darkest moments where we experience the most truthful joy. That it's often amidst the tears that the laughter comes. That it's often amidst the sadness and the pain that we realize the beauty. Utopias sound appealing, but they are often very, very perishable. So easily poked holes in. Our Christian hope does not seek these utopias. It does not point us towards these perfect places with a disregard for our current experiences, for our current reality. Rather, it asks of us to celebrate the beauty amidst the ugliness. It asks of us to laugh together with the tears. It asks of us to stay rather than to leave for the better alternative. So this is the second idea of what Christian hope is not. It is not a utopian ideal. It is not this perfect alternative world towards which we are striving with a complete disregard for the current reality and the current experiences of human life. The last idea that Mr. Hall puts forward about what Christian hope is not is the idea of Christian hope as a subjective state. A subjective state in the sense that it exists in a different world. It's removed from our current reality. And when things get too much in our lives here and now, when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel tired, despondent, depressed, we can just switch on this hope, enter into this falsely joyous and happy state that for a short while makes our current trials a bit more endurable, but which is not permanent. Another aspect of this idea of Christian hope as a subjective state is the truth that, or the reality at least, that we can believe therein. We can switch it on without it truly impacting our lives. Because this hope is grounded in this utopia that exists in another world. Because this hope can be achieved by just switching on this little button, entering into this subjective state, we can put aside our current lives. We can put aside our current reality. We can believe in this hope as this alternative without actually confronting our current lives. Without actually confronting our lived realities. Christian hope isn't this comfortable hope to be tuned in and out as needed and is as desired, but rather it's a constant state. It's a lived experience that asks of us to carry it with us, regardless of the situations we may be in, regardless of the darkness of our tunnels, regardless of the horrors of our realities. A hope that doesn't point us toward utopian ideals, but a hope that grounds us in our current lives. A hope that does not lead our eyes away to a distant world, but a hope that points us to that which is right in front of us. So, these three things, these three ideas of what Christian hope is not. Christian hope is not a program, a 1, 2, 3 easy step plan to follow that will quickly and easily and simply sort out your life. Christian hope does not point us toward false utopias, completely removed from the reality of creation, completely removed from the reality of the human existence and experience. And lastly, that Christian hope is not a subjective state. It's not a button that can be flicked on when needed. Something that we can believe in without it concretely affecting and changing our current reality, our current experiences, the way in which we speak, the way in which we interact, the deeds that we do. These three forms are oftentimes the way in which we encounter hope. Not just in our church, but in our world. And especially during this time, when so many people are despondent with what we are faced with. A situation where there is no easy answer, a situation where we are still waiting on a vaccine, a situation where many of us are confronting the reality of being locked up for the further 2 weeks. It can be a truth that we are hungering for hope. That we are yearning for someone to come forward with an easy answer. Someone telling us, don't worry, this too shall pass. And then everything will be fixed again. Everything will be sorted out again. Just look towards that. Disregard what you're currently experiencing. Disregard the situation within which we currently are. And that's a dangerous space to be. That's a dangerous place to be. And that's not a place where Christ leads us. When we read in verse 6, in this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer in all kinds of trials. We are reminded that for the early Christians, this idea of hope as a utopian ideal, this idea of hope as a quick 1-2 easy step program to follow, this idea of hope as a subjective state that you can enter and exit as you wish was not true. They had to hold on to their hope amidst persecution. They had to hold on to their hope when believing in a faith which the rest of their society ridiculed. They had to hold on to their hope when all seemed dark. And that hope was a hope that was grounded in their lived experience. A hope that was grounded in the suffering they were going through. So to summarize, as we end off, this morning we spoke a bit about what Christian hope is not, as outlined in the book Confessing the Faith. Christian hope is not a program. In other words, it's not a 1, 2, 3 easy step program to follow that will quickly and simply sort and fix out our lives. Christian hope does not point us to false utopias, worlds completely removed from our current creation, worlds completely removed from the human existence and the human experience. And lastly, Christian hope is not a subjective statement which we can enter and exit as we wish, a button that we can switch on and switch off as needed. But Christian hope is something different. Christian hope is something else. And for the answer to that, please tune in next week when Marius will speak a bit more about what Christian hope then really is.